Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Man, it's December 1st. Damn. Getting right on through there, aren't we? Getting right through there. Year damn near over with. Shit. Man, this year went kind of fast, huh? All the crazy shit been going on, I guess with all this stuff been going on, hell, I guess it keeps the days moving right on through, huh? Man. Well, there's more to come. Anyway, um for those that was wondering how I spent my Thanksgiving, I tell you how I spent my Thanksgiving and the days prior to it. I will give you an idea how I spent my Thanksgiving. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? What's going on with you, dude? But just so y'all know, this is how I spent my Thanksgiving.
Boy, you leaning like you the king of the block. King and a half, baby.
Oh my goodness. Comfortably numb. I hear you. I hear you. Trust me, I know what you mean when you say comfortably numb. I was comfortably numb myself. Shit. Hey, that's how I spent last week. Ah, shit. Oh, funny stuff. Funny stuff. Hey, and one other thing as we move along. Last week, last week, Trump asked a reporter um, if she was stupid, and I thought, I wonder what would happen if he asked a black woman that. What was her name? I can't think of her name. Um, Godly, what was her name? He asked her if she was stupid, and I was like, man, if you asked a black woman that, well, let's see what happened. I think it was Cortez. Yeah, one of the reporters named Cortez. He asked that too. Let's have a look at him asking her that, and then let's see what would happen if he would have asked a black woman that.
Do you blame the Biden administration
Because
for
they
what
let
this
him
man
in.
did?
Are you stupid? Are
Well,
you a
no.
stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on a big plane. Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands
Oh, I
of
got
other
your
people
stupid
that
right here,
shouldn't be
motherfucker.
Somebody stop her. Who let her in here again?
Get your ass up.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Yeah, that's what would happened if he would have asked a black woman that shit. Ah, that kills me. Oh, I had to put that together. Oh my gosh. I had to put that together. I was like, golly, hey, that dude got some nerve asking people if they stupid, as dumb as his ass is. But anyway, um, the as dumb as the shit is that he says on a regular basis, and I mean on a regular basis. God, you gotta be kidding me. You just have to be killing me. Anyhow, talk about stupid. That motherfucker. Really? Anyway, so over the weekend, you may have heard Target had a Black Friday sale. I don't know if you heard anything about it, but Target scammed the shit out of their customers. Target scammed the shit out of their customers. You know what? And you got to be a damn fool if you shopping at Target. Target does everything, and I'm just going to say if you black and you shopping at Target, after everything that's been said, after all that's been said this entire year about Target and about how they are treating black people and the idea of black people, how they treat the idea of black people, minorities. If you shopping in Target, you one dumb motherfucker. Now, you're the one Trump should be calling stupid. But for those that have not heard what was going on in Target, you gotta see it to believe it. Here's some reporting on how Target did they folks. There's a brief report and then what went on. Check it out.
I mean, it may not look like it right now, Scott, but at 6 a.m. is when they opened their doors, and I was told that over 200 shoppers were waiting in line for the Black Friday deals this morning. Take a look at the video that we shot from earlier when we first arrived at the Target here at Tempe Marketplace. There were so many shoppers, and I could tell that they were pretty excited because what I've learned so far from all these stores that are doing these Black Friday deals is that there's always some kind of incentive. So at Bass Pro Shop, you had the chance to win a $500 gift card. At Target, I'm told you can win Beats headphones. You could possibly win a $100 gift card. There was other parts that are included in their swag bags. And so I caught up with shoppers. We spoke to the first 3 people that were in line, and I asked them, what on God's green earth made you want to wait in line for hours to get to this point? And these were their answers.
What did she have to tell you to convince you to come out here?
Target.
Target. Why do we love Target so much?
Because they always had the best deals. We honestly just stayed in the car until we saw people start to walk up. Then we knew to book it.
It was the first time in America, so this is actually our first Black Friday here.
So those 2 people that you just heard from, they told me they had just moved to America. They are ASU students, and they had always seen through movies, social media about this Black Friday frenzy, and so they were motivated to do it themselves.
Customers braved sub-zero temperatures to queue for 5 hours outside Target, only to find the reward utterly insulting. To secure one of the first 100 limited edition swag bags, shoppers lined up in the freezing wind before dawn, with temperatures plunging to -10 degrees Celsius.
In today's video, we're going to be discussing Black Friday scams, starting with Target. Target is notorious for scamming their customers, and this year was no different. Target rolled out a campaign stating that the first 100 customers would receive a free gift bag of they didn't state what was going to be in the bag. They just stated it was going to be a variety of free things and even giving customers $100 off coupons. And of course, a bunch of imbeciles ran to Target to see what the hype was about.
Scammed at Target. Come with us to try to get the Target swag bag. So I woke up at about 2 a.m., got here at 3:30, and then waited in line. It was super freezing, but I was watching Stranger Things, so all was good. They handed out little ornaments and these Target custom cookies. Then they handed out some mini hot chocolates from Starbucks, and I went with the peppermint. We got our tickets, then we headed off inside, and then after we got our bags, we did a little review. We got Uno cards, Nerds Gummy Clusters, an Elf Glow Reviver, an electrolyte drink mix, and air dry shampoo.
First of all, I'm confused why anybody with melanin in their skin would have even been in a Target line, let alone at 2 a.m. in the morning. Earlier this year, Target received a lot of backlash because they stated publicly that they were pulling back on their DEI program, which is a program that focuses on diversity and inclusion in the workplace. So it's asinine that you would be supporting a brand or a company that doesn't support people that look like you. And two, it's a campaign. They gave you something for free in hopes that they can get something in return. So of course they were going to give you a bag full of trash. The value of the bag probably cost more than the content in the bag. The objective was just to get you in the store. Now that you're in the store, I'm sure 90% of people that got those free swag bags, they end up spending money. And guess who's up? Target's profiting at the end of the day. But he wasn't the only one that thought that the swag bag campaign was a scam.
Target counts your days. So it is currently Black Friday, and I just found out from TikTok actually that both Target and Lowe's are doing like giveaway bags or buckets or whatever for the first 50 through 100 people that show up. So it is currently 3:32 a.m. They open up at 6 a.m. and my ass is parked here at Target. Okay, you guys, we're third in line. Okay, we did not prepare for how cold it is and whatever. We just, like, as soon as I saw the TikTok, I was like, let's go. We put on our jackets and we left. So it's too cold. We still have an hour and 40 minutes before they open the doors. So my man's in line. He's still in third place. I'm going to go home. I'm just 10 minutes away from the Target. I'm going to go grab a couple blankets. I'm going to switch out my shoes and put on a thicker, coat or something. And then I'm going to go back because cold. Okay, now we're a little bit more prepared. I got 2 blankets, my man's Uggs, mine Uggs, coffee. I brought 2 beanies, gloves.
That seemed too interested. Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Do I get to keep this? Thank you.
But this one.
Tickets?
Thank you. Y'all, this is what we waited in line for. I'm pissed.
Yes, that's what you waited in line for. Yes, absolutely. That's what you waited in line for. Now, first of all, that young fella there, if him and his mans is wearing Uggs, they should be at Target. Okay. Oh shit. Hey, what's up, Carmen? If they out there wearing Uggs, Target is the place for them. So, did you see what was in the bag? They gave him from what I saw in a couple of those videos, they gave him a pack of Uno cards, a pack of some kind of gummy candies, some hand wash, and some kind of lip gloss. Now, you out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning at Target waiting for this big ass bag. Did you see the size of the bag? They had a bag you could have put a 55-inch TV in. And then, did I do any shopping? Not only no, but hell no. Hey, what's up, Ronnie? Did I do any shopping? You know what? I refuse. And there's a couple of items I actually need right now. But I'm not joining in their money-making cavalcade that they got going on at the end of the season. Like today was Cyber Monday, and I looked on Amazon, and and Amazon actually had, all these deals if you join Amazon Prime, of course. If you don't join Amazon Prime, well, hell, you just get to pay full price. And speaking of full price, from what I understand, while those people were at Target, they were pulling like the Black Friday sign out of the little holders and seeing the Black Friday price was higher than the regular price of the shit. Target actually had the Black Friday price of shit higher than the regular price. They were doing that shit, and I'm like, and you took your dumb ass to Target. Is that crazy? They literally were pulling the little signs out of the little holders, and the regular price was lower than the Black Friday price. That's what Target does to their customers. And they figure you so stupid that you ain't even got sense enough to pull this sign out and look at the other sign. They just leave the other sign in there. They just assume you're an idiot if you're in the store. Guess what? They're right. Back to me doing shopping. There's a couple of items I need, but I'm not going to take part in this because this is their end of the year where they try to, I liken it to them being in the money machine, the big box with the wind blowing and the money flowing around, and the CEOs, they just step in and grab all the money they can grab, That's the end of the year for them. They stand in the money machine and just load their pockets up with cash. Well, I think you're not. I'm not going to take part in that. I'll wait and, if I catch a deal on these couple of items that I need to get, we'll see. So, no shopping for me. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything I don't need. Absolutely nothing that I don't need. Just because. I'm literally pissed off with the season, with the way companies treat us. Boo, you're no fun. You know what? I've been told that before. Hey, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm not buying shit. I'm not. I typically put me a little tree up. I don't even know if I'm going to put a little tree up or not. I typically do that. But I'm kind of boycotting the whole idea of Christmas because they have decided that no matter how we treat you, between this administration and corporate America, they have decided no matter how we treat you, I need you to go shopping. Mr. Frugal. Well, I'm not really frugal, because I don't mind spending money because I like to have, the stuff that is quality stuff. I guess I could be considered frugal. I do watch what I spend on. So, and I thank you for that because that could have been worse. But again, their attitude is, okay, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put this out there. The Trump administration, on purpose, chose not to issue SNAP benefits for a period of time. They chose not to do it. Okay, this was not This didn't have to do with anything else. This was a choice of the Trump administration. We're not going to issue benefits because we're pissed off with the Democrats. We're mad with the Democrats, so fuck the poor people. And the poor people are going to reward corporate America by, as soon as I get my hands on something, I'm running out to corporate America. No, thank you. No, thank you. Check this out. Also, how many of you have gone to the mall or the shopping center of your choice to go do your shopping, and you see the car pulled over by the cops? Because, hey, first of all, the mall and the shopping center is not in your neighborhood. 9 times out of 10, if you black, the mall or the shopping center that you shop at is not in your neighborhood. So you out of your neighborhood. How many times you seen that car pulled over by the cops and you ride by and it's a black person pulled over? I've seen that quite a few times. I've been the person pulled over a couple of times. And that's one thing that pisses me off too. You go to another neighborhood to do your shopping, to drop your money, and you get fucked with by the cops. You know, you see it all the time. You see it all the time. So that's another reason. You got pulled over Wednesday. Hey, were you shopping? Were you out shopping? Tell me that. Were you out shopping? That's what I want to know when they pulled you over. Because one of the, that's one of the ways they profile us. That's how they can profile us, is we're out there in their neighborhood shopping. And, I just pass. I tell you what, too, and I've been saying this for a long time. I've been saying this for a very long time. You want to get corporate America's attention. If you want to get their attention, let Black America stop going to the mall and ask them on your way to Fort Wayne. Oh, okay. Let Black America stop going to the mall. Okay, let all the black folks stop going to the shopping center. And let a news crew come out and ask, hey, Black America, why have you stopped going to the shopping centers? Why have you stopped going to the mall? Let the black people say, because we tired of getting stopped by the police. Let a black person say that they're not spending at the mall because they're tired of getting stopped by the police. Guarantee you that day a call will go out and no more black people will get stopped. I guarantee you a call will go out and no more black people will get stopped. But we don't know the power we have. We won't exercise the power we have. We refuse to acknowledge the power we have. They seem to they keep selling things I like though. Yeah, okay. Hey, I can't fuck with that one. Yeah, they gonna keep selling shit you like. They gonna keep selling that shit. That's for sure. hey, what can I tell you? And well, see, that's it. They know you like shit. I tell you how much they know you like shit. Let me press upon you how much they know about how much you like shit. This is how much they know you like shit. They know it so much that they don't even put out a sale paper anymore. Okay? They know you like shit so much that they're not even putting out a sale paper anymore. That's how well they know you like shit. So, don't have the unity it takes to do something like that. Black folks do not. Black folks do not have the unity it takes to do something like that. No truer words have ever been spoken or typed. Black folks do not have the unity. Yeah. That's pretty sad, but true. And the thing about it is, that is true power. That is power. Our money is power. Each one of us has been conditioned to think like one person. If we just kept our money, if we could just, I bet plenty of black people have heard, hey, we're boycotting Target. Plenty of black people have heard that. I will bet 70% of the people that heard that have said, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Black people quick to say, that ain't gonna work. I don't know how many people I've told about different things. And I don't know how many times I've heard, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. No, it damn sure ain't gonna work if you don't participate. Okay, we've established that. It's definitely not gonna work if you're not gonna participate. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Corporate America has decided that they're gonna treat you the way they intend to treat you. They're going to treat you the way they intend to treat you, and that's it. And we've decided, okay, treat us like, you know what? Do you know how insulted I would have been? And I've been insulted like this before. Do you know the insult I would have felt if I would have walked into Target and pulled one of those signs out that said Black Friday $169, and behind it was $159, the regular price $159, and the Black Friday sale is $169? Do you know how pissed I would have been? Do you know how mad that would have made me? And I've seen it before. I tell you what. And here's the deal. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, this sale, that sale. Every time I see the word sale, hey, we're having a sale this weekend. This weekend, we're having a sale. Every time I see the word sale, it makes me feel like you've been fucking me the rest of the week. Oh, you're going to sell it to me cheaper today. So yesterday, you was fucking me. because you can sell it to me for this price today. Now, it'll only help. It will only help if you knew what the price was yesterday. If you've been tracking something that you want and you know what it costs, and I've done that quite a bit, and you see it for less, then you can gauge whether that's a better price or not. But half the time, they'll mark it up and then put it on sale for the regular price. They're very good at doing that. Very, very good at doing that. So, and that's, that's just my take on it. I'm really, I really hate that. I really hate it. I 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 hate the way corporate America treats us. Corporate America treats us like trash. And we take it. Like James said, we take it. Because we so hooked on spending. We're so hooked. We're so hooked on spending. That not spending is not even part of the equation. Not spending is so not part of the equation that we will spend when we don't have it to spend. And I ain't even going to get into that part. But that's how not spending is so not a part of the equation. We will spend what we don't have to spend just because they selling something I like. It's the condition. We really need a new condition. We really need a new condition. So, there. So I ain't going to harp on that. I ain't going to harp on Target. I just thought, hey, it's interesting that Target had this. They had a bag this big, a big psychedelic bag this big, and put you a pack of Uno cards in the damn bag. A pack of Uno cards. You got motherfuckers sitting out here in the middle of the night at 2 and 3 in the morning in the cold. You give them a mini hot chocolate, a goddamn cookie, and a pack of Uno cards? I'm sorry. Could you imagine how mad some of them people had to be? Oh, golly. A bag of swag. A nice bag of swag. Even the little saucy dude with the Uggs, him and his mans with the Uggs was pissed. By the way, do me a favor if you can, hit that thumbs up and share this or subscribe. That was just remarkable. Okay, I'm moving right along. I'm gonna move on from that because that's just too funny to me. It's just too funny. They went to Target for Black Friday. Target, okay, for Black Friday. And what you get at Target? You got dick, okay? You were the target. Anyway. So now in the news, there's this really big stink about Trump out there blowing folks up in the middle of the Caribbean. So now everybody, there's a stink about what happened in September. They've been blowing up ships practically every day. I think they're up to what is it, about 18 ships now, 18 boats, not ships, boats. About 81 people have been killed. This administration has killed about 81 people out in the middle of the Caribbean, riding around in little fishing boats. These boats cannot even make it to America. They're saying they smuggling drugs to America. These boats do not carry enough fuel to make it to America, okay? So that part is a lie. You know, Venezuela is quite a bit of ways farther out than, say, Cuba, okay? Cuba, you can make it. Puerto Rico, you can make it. Venezuela, you need a bigger boat. Okay, so the Venezuelans that have been coming here, that a lot of people wonder how the Venezuelans getting here. They're literally walking and trucking through Central America. Okay, that's how they're getting here, and through Mexico. It's not on boats. Okay, just so everybody knows that. So this guy's out there blowing up these boats. Okay, now everybody's saying, hey, that's got to be illegal. It's got to be illegal. Now, we've had a couple of generals, a couple of an admiral and a couple of high-ranking officers have said, hey, we're out of here, okay? Let's hear a report from, let's hear a couple questions from Jake Tapper about this. Let's talk about this. Check it out.
Why have all these top military officials announced plans to leave their jobs early in recent weeks? I'm specifically referring to the commander of Southcom, Admiral Alvin Halsey, who announced in October that he was only going to be serving in that job for 1 year, and three-star General Joe McGee, who serves on the Joint Chiefs of Staff as Director for Strategy Plans and Policy. He also in October announced that he was going to be shown the door. And the reason I'm asking is because we just learned from the reporting of CNN's Natasha Bertrand and also the Washington Post and The Intercept that as part of this campaign to strike alleged drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean, on September 2nd, the U.S. struck one of these boats, disabled it, people died, but then there were survivors, and the U.S. went back and did what's called a double tap strike, going back and killing the survivors, including those, according to the Washington Post, who were clinging to the smoldering wreck. And the Post reports, according to two sources familiar with the operation, that Hegseth had given the order to kill everybody, which is why the double tap. Now, the Pentagon disputes this reporting, saying that the entire narrative is completely false, but they haven't offered any specifics about what's false. Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, said the stories are fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory. Again, wouldn't go into detail about what was allegedly fabricated. But the reason I'm asking is because given Halsey and McGee and their early exits, I'm wondering what role, if any, this September strike, which seems to be of questionable legality, played in their early departures. Only a few weeks later, I reached out to the Pentagon and the White House to ask them specifically about this, but the Pentagon did not get back to me and the White House was not responsive. When McGee left, CNN reported that one of the issues of friction between him and Hegseth had to do with operations, including those in the Caribbean. And specifically, when Halsey left, CNN's Pentagon reporters noted that, quote, tensions had been simmering between Hegseth and Halsey for weeks before the admiral announced he was leaving, and that Southcom was concerned about the operations in the Caribbean, quote, not being lawful, sources said. Now, obviously, Hegseth disputes the idea that these aren't lawful. He says they're, quote, lawful under both U.S. and international law, all actions in compliance with the law of armed conflict. But experts on this, on the left, right, and center, strongly disagree. Just to cite one from the right, Jack Goldsmith of Harvard, who used to work for the George W. Bush presidency, he noted that the Department of Defense Law of War Manual states that it is, quote, prohibited to conduct hostilities on the basis that there shall be no survivors, or to threaten the adversary with the denial of quarter. He says, quote, if the Post's facts are correct, it appears that Special Operation Forces committed murder when the two men were blown apart in the water, as the Washington Post put it. Andrew McCarthy of the Conservative National Review also says, even if you buy the untenable claim that the men in this alleged trafficking boat are combatants, meaning that they are at a state of war with the United States, it is a war crime to intentionally kill combatants who have been rendered unable to fight, including those shipwrecked. Now, the House Armed Services Committee and the Senate Armed Services Committee say they're going to conduct oversight over this. I guess we will see how serious they are by whether or not they have public testimony from Admiral Halsey and General McGee.
All right. Now, let's put a pin in Halsey and McGee. Let's put a pin in those two names. Halsey and McGee got the hell out of there. Okay? They said, hey, this shit is illegal. Now, this is what I assume. Because these are two high-ranking officials who have long careers who said bye-bye. And this is after striking a boat and then coming back and striking that boat again after the people on that boat has been rendered helpless. Okay, you strike a boat. Let's assume this boat is a boat that is carrying some kind of weapons. Let's assume that. And you strike the boat to disable it, kill everybody, whatever. And you accomplished your job. You struck the boat and disabled it, and that's that. So, you accomplished your job. But you see there's people out there in the water clinging to the boat. Now, we've seen these boats. These are small fishing boats. These are not those high-speed banana boats. These are not ships. These are literally fishing dinghies, okay? And we're told that they have drugs aboard. We can assume if there are drugs and drug dealers aboard, there are a few weapons on board. So you shoot this boat. You've disabled the boat, and there's survivors clinging to the boat in the water. Well, anybody in their right mind knows you shoot somebody clinging to a boat, you blow up the rest of the pieces that's drifting with people on it. Even in war, that's murder. Even during wartime, that is murder. Okay? All right. Are we all clear on this? Even during war time, that is murder. You cannot go back and shoot some indefensible person that's already been disabled. All right. Now, the reporting says Pete Hegseth gave the order to kill everybody. That's what's coming out. Pete Hegseth told everybody, he says, kill everybody, okay? Now, let's go back to where those pins were sticking. Halsey and McGee got the fuck out of there. Halsey and McGee didn't agree with none of that shit. Halsey and McGee said, you're not pinning none of this shit on us. All right? Because guess what? Somebody gonna have to pay a price. All right? Somebody gonna have to pay a price. Let's listen to the White House response. Yes, your favorite and mine, Caroline Levitt. Let's listen to her response to this shit.
Venezuela. The president said yesterday that Secretary Hegseth had denied that second strike, the reported second strike on an alleged drug vote on September 2nd, the Secretary said to the President that didn't happen. But to clarify, I just wanted you to clear this up. In his social media post, Secretary Hegseth didn't go into details about that strike. He just said U.S. operations in the area were lawful, and he said that the story and media reports were fabricated. So to be clear, does the administration deny that second strike happened, or did it happen and the administration denies that Secretary Hegseth gave the order?
The latter is true, Abe, and I have a statement to read for you here. President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. With respect to the strikes in question on September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated. And I would just add one more point to remind the American public why these lethal strikes are taking place. Because this administration has designated these narco-terrorists as foreign terrorist organizations. The president has a right to take them out if they are threatening the United States of America and if they are bringing illegal narcotics that are killing our citizens at a record rate, which is what they are doing. And under the previous administration, there was enough fentanyl trafficked into our country to kill every American man, woman, and child many times over. And so that's why you've seen a drastic difference in this administration's policy with respect to the last, and it's one of the many reasons the American public reelected this president and support this Secretary of War in conducting these strikes.
So to be clear, to clarify, Admiral Bradley was the one who gave that order for a second strike.
And he was well within his authority to do so.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? They just threw Bradley under the bus. They just threw an Admiral Bradley under the bus. Okay? We now know who's about to catch hell. All right? We now know who they intend to throw under the bus to go down for this shit. Okay? They just told us who they gonna fry for it. They just told us who's going under the bus. First of all, presidential designated narco-terrorists. Presidential designated narco-terrorists? What the hell is that? How does the president get to just designate somebody a narco-terrorist? Explain that to me. How does this guy just, I'm going to designate you a narco-terrorist. I designate you a narco-terrorist. And I authorize him to blow your ass up. Okay? And now that I authorize him to do it, he can just go do whatever he wants. Did you notice they said Pete Hegseth did not give the order? They made sure they said this Bradley fella just got kicked under the bus, who just got put out there. They just put him out there. He going down, okay? He going down for this. All right, that's the only reason they brought his name in there. Because the reporter asked, which one is it? Did it not happen, or did it happen and Hegseth didn't give the order? And she said the latter. It happened, but Hegseth didn't give the order. Bradley gave the order. Isn't that special? Bradley gave the order. Well, this is what I think is going on with Bradley. Check this out.
This here right here, that's Admiral Frank Bradley. Yeah, you guessed it. He's in deep doo-doo. He followed an illegal order. For those who don't know, he commands the SOCOM, Special Operations Command. This here right here, that's Admiral Halsey. He was over Southcom. Strangely, he retired and resigned very early his post. Barely a year on the job. That normally lasts about 3-4 years. That alone tells you that some ain't mathing here, some suspicious. As we fast forward, the U.S. has carried out multiple deadly strikes on boats near Venezuela. Inside Southcom, senior officers, including Halsey, reported raised concerns about whether these missions were unlawful. Now, the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, he wanted something faster, more aggressive, more action, and complained that he wasn't getting that operation details with Admiral Halsey. The conflict came to a head, and in October, in the Pentagon meeting, Halsey told Hegseth, I'm out of here. Deuces. I'll resign. Right on the spot. Commander Halsey stepped down quietly and respectfully, but commanders with 37 years of service don't retire early without cause. A man with that much experience and time serving our nation has got to have some contemporaneous notes stashed away and sealed. Yeah. When congressional oversight begins, you can all bet contemporaneous notes will be very important. Yeah. I can smell a subpoena coming, don't y'all? Yeah, the oversight committee probably gonna be subpoenaing you, Admiral Halsey. Stay in touch there, okay? Truth will come out. Meanwhile, Admiral Bradley, sir, you might want to grab you a fantastic lawyer. How about, no, go ahead and grab two. Truth has no party, y'all be well.
Right. You might want to grab 2 lawyers, okay? 2 really good ones. Because they just threw you under the bus. I tell you what, he'll be a damn fool to not step in front of a camera right now and say, hey, wait a minute. You know what? If he got any sense, he'll step out of the Pentagon and say, hey, wait a minute. On the Pentagon steps, hold on now. That wasn't my order. You know, because the White House official response was he did it, not us. He did it. That's the White House official response. If I ever seen somebody with their ass out, this Admiral Bradley is him. Okay? Because I don't care where you are on the planet. I don't care what war you're in. Over in Gaza, Israel, the Israelis were accused of being on the fence shooting Palestinians that were trying to get supplies. They have video of soldiers on the fence shooting at civilian Palestinians just trying to get at supplies. That would be tantamount to shooting a guy clinging to a boat in the water. Okay? That will be the same thing. Shooting a duck in a barrel. Shooting a guy clinging to a boat. Okay? It all adds up to war crimes and tribunals. All right? Now, the guy that has designated somebody a narco-terrorist, and the fact that Caroline Leavitt seems to not understand where fentanyl comes from. Fentanyl has never came from Venezuela. Okay? They want to keep screaming fentanyl. Fentanyl comes from China. Okay? Fentanyl comes from China. it is sent to places like Mexico and mixed into drugs in Mexico. Okay? Fentanyl does not come from Venezuela. No fentanyl has come in from Venezuela. But to be branded narco-terrorist just by a guy who just decided to hang that brand on you and then start killing people indiscriminately, if they're a drug dealer, don't you stop the boat, apprehend the dealer, and take the drugs and break it out into the light with the cameras and say, look at the drugs we got. Here's the guys we caught. You don't just blow up the boat and say, see, them guys was drug dealers. And speaking of drug dealers, if we're on this big drug dealer, kill the drug dealers out in the water campaign, what's with this administration about to literally release a drug dealer from prison? About to release a drug dealer from prison. A man by the name of Juan Orlando Hernandez. Isn't that special? A convicted drug trafficker is about to get a pardon. Juan Orlando Hernandez. Why are you pardoning convicted drug traffickers? One who trafficked hundreds of millions of pounds of cocaine to the United States. Yeah. Yeah, we really big on getting rid of drug dealers. We want to get rid of them so bad, we're going to pardon them and get them out of our jails. Yeah, right. Anyway, all right. That's my rant. That's my rant. I'm going to be tuning in to this one like I tune in to most stuff. Because he is a MAGA drug dealer. That's exactly what, you know what happened. The cartel sent a contribution. The cartel sent the contribution. That's what happened. You know how to get out of jail with this administration. You know how that works. You make a contribution, you get out of jail. That's some simple shit. You know what? And it would be, if they just hid it, but they ain't even hiding it. Make a contribution, get out of prison. Okay? The crypto guy promised to help the Trump family make more billions. We'll let you out of prison. Soon as he gets out of prison, goes straight to work for the Trump family. That's how it works. You make a contribution, you get out of prison. So, now, unfortunately, or fortunately for Bradley, maybe Bradley won't even, depending on which court he's tried in, he'll get pardoned in federal court, of course. When you're doing the do for you-know-who, you'll get pardoned for that. But if he's tried in international court, well, that's a different story. such as Netanyahu. Netanyahu has been tried in international court, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, he's been charged in this international court. He has charges on him. And actually, if he travels to the wrong place, they will apprehend his ass and put him on trial. So maybe this guy Bradley will stay safely at home and not worry about it. But it's safe to understand who's gonna be going on trial. Okay, who's gonna be thrown under the bus? They already lining them up. Bradley's just the first one because Bradley didn't push the button. Bradley gave the order. Bradley is way up the chain of command from whoever pushed the button. And I tell you what, like I told someone else, if it was me drawing up the charges, I'm charging every goddamn body. I'm charging from Bradley. I'm charging Hegseth. I'm charging everybody from Hegseth down to the motherfucker that took Windex and a paper towel and wiped off the screen for the radar. The motherfucker that wiped the radar screen off for the bastard that pushed the button. I'm charging his motherfucking ass, okay? If I was writing the charges, okay? I'm charging everybody. But that's just me. Anyway, that's all I got for today. This is going to get interesting. Because they're talking about congressional hearings. And they're talking about congressional hearings in the House and the Senate. Or investigations in the House and the Senate. And there have been Republicans actually talking about investigations. And some of these Republicans seem to be on the verge of breaking ties with this administration. That's something to also watch. This is about to get interesting. Something else that's interesting is there's an election going on tomorrow in Tennessee. We need to watch that election. That is for a House seat vacated by a Republican. And there's a Democrat in pretty good shape in Tennessee. That will be interesting if she wins. Have a good night yourself. And stay careful, be careful. And we will talk again soon. Appreciate you hanging out with me, Carmen. Thank you. I'll be watching that election tomorrow to see how this Democrat does in Tennessee. And be watching to see if any of these rats start to jump ship. Gonna be interesting here in the next few months. Let's find out. Let's keep an eye on it. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. I'm going to get out of here. You know what? It's a Monday. I wonder if it's a football game on. If it is, I'm missing it. Didn't even think about that. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I'm going to get out of here. Go see if it's a game on. Y'all stay prayed up and take it easy. Talk to you later.